What is going
Episode
on
94.
here? Yeah.
Welcome back to the Tucker Carlson program. Tucker Carlson Tonight. Episode 94 of Inane
Here
Blather.
on X.com.
Yes. But a safe haven for
the Marxists, the anarchists, the agitators, the looters, and people who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
And you know why that is?
The left maximizes evil.
That's why. Because the left maximizes evil. Yet still,
mental illness is when you're right wing.
so we, as super intelligent people, are in the center on every issue that you
In
can
the
possibly
center,
think
yeah.
of. Yes.
That's the place you want to be.
That's
Anywhere
what, if you're a new
halfway
listener.
between Nazis and Marxists. You know, you want to be kind of close to those Nazis. They maybe got some points. You know, hey.
Yeah. Great way to start the show.
Great for new
Yeah.
listeners here. That's a joke.
That's the political equivalent of. Anyway, no, but really,
What is going
the
on?
favorite
No.
show of everyone you know that refers
not
to
the best,
themselves
but it's the
as.
favorite.
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
I got to start off with something really important here before I even ask you how you're doing.
That's
your
not
days
important
like.
at all. So, yeah.
So in the 2002 episode of Futurama,
Of course.
where they get $300 to spend as they see fit, and of course $300. Amy says, "What is that? 100 cups of coffee?" And Fry, Fry decides that's what I'm going to do: drink 100 cups of coffee. Why does he drink them all over the course of just a couple days?
Because he's
It's always
an
like just part of
idiot.
it that I accept, and then it's just like, yeah, oh, that's funny. He gets so incredibly jacked on coffee that, you know, he's vibrating and eventually becomes an orange blur who saves everyone. But
That's
he never
why.
said,
It's
I'm
for-
going to
it's a
drink
plot
100 cups of
device.
coffee consecutively over all my waking hours. Not only that, but when they ask him if he wants a small, medium, or large, he gets large every time.
And they all cost $3 or whatever. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
interesting point where he gets a whale size.
Whale
yeah.
size.
Whale biologist. Yeah. You're
The
lumpy and you
whale
smell
who thinks
awful.
he's
Yeah.
better than you.
Because Fry's an idiot that's missing some like very vital brainwave function that all humans
That's
have and even
true.
some plants have, you know. And it shows a clip of him trying to eat a pineapple on a stick with the skin still on. So that's Fry in a nutshell. Is someone who's
So-
going to drink 100 cup of coffee in literally like 3 days.
Yeah,
because he's a
I
moron.
think that's what it does. So you're saying it's the delta brainwave thing?
Oh, how I wish I could believe or understand that.
I
Okay.
was wondering what you were going to drop. You gave me a look that I couldn't quite read.
Yeah. No one else gets this. They just hear just the dumbest reactions through
blatherings,
drops
yeah.
that I get and stuff, or just like a pause before it that I'm not going to edit out. But Natalie can see me like either just not paying attention to her at
I
all
see
and
you.
looking down at my tablet.
Just
And
like
be like,
texting it on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, you know why? Because
Capitalism is bad.
yeah.
And
So
I'm like, I was just talking about, you know, like
I was
this
talking about
childhood
rape
trauma.
victims.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
well, you know why rape happens.
Capitalism is bad.
This
Totally.
is absolutely lit.
No, but
Hey,
regardless,
I do have something to say,
I
though,
appreciate
before I
every
forget.
single person who listens to the show. Natalie, shut up. No,
This has something to do with someone who listens to the show. My very good friend, Danae, who said her grandmother eats banana and mayonnaise sandwiches. So,
no. Wow, really?
Yep. And
You
I
know what I
said-
say? You know what I say to that?
You do that again, I'm going to come over there and physically assault you with this champagne bomb and break it over your stupid Joker face.
Danae. Yeah.
Yeah, Danae's grandmother.
Oh my god. You
Yeah, we
lovely
pull no
elderly
punches
woman.
here
Yeah.
at the Inane Blather program. And
Everybody's a
if
victim
anything
here.
comes back to bite me, I'm jumping off a bridge because
Suicide is badass.
No.
What is
that's
that
the one that I
from?
was trying to cut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Danny DeVito.
That's what I was trying to.
Always Sunny.
All right. Yeah.
I couldn't cut
Got
out
it.
all that crosstalk and stuff, but I just love
Suicide
when he
is
turns to the
badass.
camera and says, "Because suicide is badass."
And then that's like on Futurama, where isn't Hermes is standing at the top of the building. He's going to jump off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, do a flip.
Do a flip, yeah.
So thoughtful. So thoughtful.
Anyway, so no, but I do appreciate the feedback, Danae. That is funny. I mean, I guess I will finally concede that it does in fact happen, and it is not a wide-reaching gaslighting campaign on Twitter just to mess with my mind.
It's like
specifically
one of those conspiracy theories that, like, you know, like, have you heard of that conspiracy theory that birds aren't real?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
like
That's
a-
an internet classic.
It's like a fake one, you know, but I don't
fake
know.
conspiracy. Sometimes
Maybe-
those have more thought put into them. I swear.
But it's also like some people eventually, I don't know, you know, some people can really get conspiracy theorized and believe that. That one is so wild, you know, where every single bird is like a government robot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like, you know
they're
how
all
many
just spying
millions
on
of
you.
birds there are in the world? It'd be
yeah, well,
insane.
you think there are. You think there are millions of birds in the world. Supposedly, like billions of birds are murdered by cats. Where do you see that? You see dead birds all over the place? The only person I hear talking about that is Trump. You're going to believe him? So now you're saying you're on Trump's side? You believe everything Trump says?
You know why? Because he's
Because
so
you think
thoughtful.
that birds
So
are real.
thoughtful.
If you say
Because-
birds are real, I immediately assume that you're absolute MAGA cultists.
These people are sick.
And that every time you use the bathroom,
People have to flush their toilet 15 times.
because of all the birds that they're shoving down there just to get rid of the evidence. So,
That started to make a lot of sense, actually.
yeah.
You know, when you put it like that.
Yeah.
They've been known to.
But
Nice. That's a quote about birds.
that's
Crawl back
true.
like a bird on its belly. Birds don't crawl.
Birds don't crawl.
They've been known to.
Yeah, there
Nice.
was a guy who he actually had some real compelling evidence supporting the birds aren't real conspiracy. He was about to go public with all of it, and
He died and when baboons kidnapped and ate him.
so you never know. I don't know how else I'm going to use that drop.
I was wondering what you were building to. I was like,
You're like, 'cause
this
it's
is too
not the
carefully
truth.
worded. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I even said afterwards to our dear uncle that I talked to the other day, yesterday,
Oh.
and put my arm around him near the end of it, calming
And
down.
uncle
I was like,
over in
"See,
the
this is
area
what
that you lived in?
happens." I was like, "This is what happens. It's like we're having an internet argument in real life." Because I mean, Sophia even came out into the garage. She's like, "What are you guys arguing about?" And I was like, "The COVID vaccine."
Is this the uncle that lives near you? Like in.
No,
that what
it's
you're
the
talking about?
uncle that lives in Moses Lake sometimes. So it's the uncle with a long ponytail that often leans towards very conspiratorial things and
What
makes
does he
sure
say?
that,
What is the thing that his little, like at the end of every single sentence he says, where he's like,
right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
every single
So they're
sentence.
handing out this vaccine, right? You know, and now it comes out. You read in the papers, right, that everyone's dying from it. You know,
Right?
It's like,
Yeah.
he's worried. He's like, well, good thing you're not collapsing and dying of a heart attack since you took that vaccine, kind of thing. I was just like, oh my god, it was funny because he was saying, you know, after what just happened in Europe with all those soccer players that week, where a guy died on the field of a heart attack. A different guy each day of the week, 7 different guys. I was like, wow, really? I was like, you watch a lot of soccer? Like, well, no, I mean, it was soccer. Yeah. I was like, you must watch a lot of soccer, huh? Is that how you heard about that? No. I was like, oh, you just read it on the internet? I know you did. And it's just not true. I was like, that's what stupid to believe.
About?
Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like,
every single day, a professional soccer player just collapses on the field for a week.
And dies
like, what?
of myocarditis from the COVID vaccine. Yeah. I'm so sure. No, it was all in good fun though, and he doesn't get all riled up like some people do. It was a few months ago. We were arguing about communism and stuff. It's fun, but it was kind of funny how it reached at one point where I was just like, man, this is just like having an argument on Twitter, like I always do, but in real life. So I appreciate it.
Yeah,
but,
I'd be like,
yeah, it's a little. It gets annoying, but I'm good at steering the conversation away and.
Not me. I lean into it.
Making fun of people.
Like,
but,
I end up saying, fuck you.
Yep. And walking out and crying, and everyone else is crying. And, then we're like, you ruined another funeral. And yeah, it's just,
it's what they would have wanted.
You only live once. Yeah, it's what they would have. It's in their will.
Grandma wanted that. Yeah.
Just dead stare. This is what she wanted. She told me.
I should make a huge fuss at her funeral.
A big fuss. Yeah. No, how has it been over there? Has it been really nice? It's been really nice over here.
Well, I was out of town last week, dog sitting and all that, house sitting. Got back on Saturday. It was, give me a break, phenomenal day. Went down to stop. Yeah, exactly like that. Stopped in Seattle on my way back from the old Tacoma. Had a beautiful picnic in the park with my babes, or 2 of my babes, and
nice.
The view, Tahoma, otherwise known by the colonizer name, Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier, because it's more rainy than other places.
No, shut up. No, it was unbelievable view. It was so spectacular.
I bet.
And then come home here, walk down to the river, meet Kelsey and her friend that was in town. They're down there sitting by the water, sat down there for a few hours. Then after that, walked over to this yoga studio where they had this event for this monthly event for women's empowerment. Do you know what the topic of conversation was? I walk in and I'm like,
staring at the mountain. God. How to stare at Tahoma.
Written on the
how to blather
whatever,
inanely.
the mirror. What is internalized capitalism and patriarchy? And I was like, oh my God, this is a topic, I talk about constantly.
What is it?
It's productivity and these ways that we this is a feminine, looking for your divine feminine and kind of stuff. Yeah, where we're perpetuating those things, feeling bad about rest, and all kinds of things about the patriarchy. It's so many different ways women feel about themselves because of crap like that.
No,
but a lot of it about capitalism and feeling guilty about not being productive and how much you have to productivity is the goal, of our lives pretty much. And just kind of deconstructing some of those things. And it was just a circle. It was amazing. And then on Sunday, Humby was here at the house.
So did you
at the Beaver
tell
Den.
everyone about our podcast or what? Did you use that as a networking and marketing opportunity or not?
I was just so incredibly happy to be having this conversation in this town that I'm living in. It was amazing. It's not really known for that kind of, progressive kind of thing. So then Sunday, Humby was here. We laid out in the backyard here at the den and read for several hours. The sun, it was in the 60s. It was fantastic weekend. After a long week away, came home. Perfect weather. Oh my God.
I
Humby and I have been
it
watching Yeah.
you had been able to see the mountain or something, since I could see the mountain from Moses Lake yesterday. I was like, oh my God. I just kept looking out there. I hate that because I'm always driving on like one of the most dangerous highways in Washington.
Yeah.
And just like, but I wish I was just looking out the window right now. Why can't I be on a fucking train?
Why
Although
can't
that's
I be
kinda
on a
silly.
fucking train?
It's like, even if there was one, I can't be on one because I'm hauling a lawnmower. But maybe you can check that on a train.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know, they've got big things underneath or something. I got a storage unit or whatever on the train.
Yeah, there's
that's all
some
the train
cargo
is, right?
compartment.
Yeah.
And I ended up picking up a bunch of stuff on the way back too. I stopped by our dad's house and he gave me
got a bunch
new,
of junk because they're moving.
Yes, yeah. He asked if I wanted it, and actually I did. So I got a new set of deck chairs and a glass outdoor table with
Nice.
a thing for my umbrella and stuff, and it all much better than what I had set up. And then what I had, I was like, I'm gonna have to get rid of this other table. Perfect. I asked my neighbors, they're like, oh my gosh, that'll be perfect for us. So I just picked it up and walked it over to their house today. So
Perfect.
but yeah, it was
Love
really
that.
nice out. It was like 83 degrees yesterday at Moses Lake though, when I
Whoa.
was mowing the lawn. Yeah, it was pretty warm.
It was not that warm here.
Yeah, but it's already cooling down.
It rained so hard
This is
today.
politics.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
this is
sure
the weather.
that's coming here. Yeah. Well, the weather.
This is politics.
Suck my dick,
Climate
idiot.
change.
Yeah. Exactly. It's funny. I wasn't
Your
sure how to
wiener.
explain this in the little note that I left myself, but I know I saw a tweet at some point about and people hate like this kind of annoying white person music that you put on like at a bar or event or something. Oh, it got brought up because someone was talking about how much they hate the song "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey, and they're like, it's
Number
one of those
one
things.
most karaoke song in the United
Yeah,
States.
exactly. Like karaoke, putting it on, everyone starts singing. That and "Sweet Caroline" comes up a lot in that type of thing.
That's a pretty
in that
good
whole
song,
category. Oh yeah, I love it, and it sucks that it's been like ruined by just like
White people?
complete overplay. Yeah, like how they do it at a baseball game, and then they cut the music so that everyone in the crowd goes ba ba
Dun,
ba.
dun, dun.
Yeah, so but I said, people talk about annoying white person music that you put on at a bar or at an event, Sweet Caroline, Don't Stop Believing. I guess I wasn't paying attention to what I was writing. But now that millennials are old enough, just throw on something from Backstreet Boys' Millennium and see how it really goes down. And I had that thought, and what's that first song on Larger Than Life? That first song on the album? I just realized that I knew
makes you
every single part of that
larger
song.
than life.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh man.
He is like Emily and I had that. We like it the Backstreet Boys. You know,
yeah.
Backstreet Boys over
yeah.
NSYNC.
Yep.
Honestly,
But there's a couple of
But,
those. It's like that. It's that late 90s, early 2000s. Now that we're all old and we're the ones in control of social functions like that. Not
not anything like
infrastructure
real
or anything.
power or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the aux cord. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, and that's what it'll be like at an event. There's no like full setup. It's just an aux cord sitting
Someone
out.
with their plug in there. I'm like, oh wait, phones don't have aux inputs
as long
anymore.
as they have their adapter.
God. Yeah. Your dongle, which is a very
Fucking
funny
stupid F-word bitch.
Like a
dongle is a
fongle.
funny thing to say. A what?
Because it's an F word. Yeah, and it was a dongle. Yeah. What? But
Yeah, I agree.
so let's see.
Anyways.
Man, I thought that conversation was going to go for a lot longer. No, but Let's see. There was something else. Well, there was this. If you want to talk about something serious, I saw an article in our local paper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Did I accidentally delete it? Stupid
F-word
fucking
bitch.
bullshit. Yeah, exactly. I cleared out a bunch of stuff because I had like 1,000 things in my download folder. God damn it. Because I figured out a way to get I just printed a PDF of this because it's so hard to just access the fucking newspaper around here. Everything is just locked
That's where
behind
I feel
a
like
paywall.
I
and,
kind
like,
of made our father think about
my
that kind of
first
stuff
thought-
because I'm like, the reason you can't get that
Open.
anymore where you live is because they make you pay for it. Don't you think, Dad, that it should be available for everyone? Don't you think that everyone should have access to this information, right? And it's like, I'm like, yeah, that's because they need to make money. It should be more like a public service, and they shouldn't have to rely on people, paying to be informed about what's going on in their own communities. It should just be there for them. Because he was really, obviously we both know he's like every single day reads the newspaper, or used to when it was available.
Oh, yeah.
But,
This newspaper that I'm looking at right now. But it's just funny. It's like just the moronic cognitive dissonance for people around here. These Trump voters and stuff like that. But the disgusting immigration rhetoric that doesn't even take Trump voters anymore. Just look at Joe Biden's administration. It's so
saying
anti-immigrant.
illegals, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's already deported more people than Trump was deporting in his first
almost
few
two
years.
Obama
as far as I
numbers,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it says here, the beating heart of Washington's agriculture industry is in danger, but a central Washington lawmaker has a plan to help shore up the most critical issue farmers are facing, a disappearing workforce dependent on migrant labor. And it's funny how, like, there's a right way to go about this. There's these reactions. Man, in the beginning of Trump's presidency, these super lived up people there were a couple of like notable celebrity responses where it was like, oh, he wants to deport everyone. Who's going to clean your toilets or something? It's like, that is just racist. What is wrong with you?
It's making me cringe so fucking hard right now. It's like hurting me. Oh my God, imagine saying that.
I'm thinking that you're owning Trump and Trump supporters. It's like, Jesus,
that you're on the side of the
immigrants
immigrants in this situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That you're not just calling them all toilet cleaning,
Yeah.
non-English speaking.
Because I'm not going to do it. But there's
Yeah.
a reality here about, sectors of the economy that rely on immigrant labor. Doesn't even have to be, you don't even have to talk about undocumented workers versus people with work visas or whatever it is. It's like, it's just a fact, and still, like, the whole, the only reason all this is cheap is because all these big farms will skirt the rules and hire illegal immigrants and pay them below minimum wage and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, I think all these people could, I wish, be more easily become citizens if they want, or have an easier work visa program and stuff, and be paid good enough, well enough,
Like a
have
person?
some sort of
Yeah.
like labor representation, and it wouldn't send prices shooting through the roof, because you know what? Those already do that. The prices of your groceries are already crazy because of inflation and bullshit from giant
Because of profit
grocery
motive.
retailers. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, there's real issues with like kicking out everybody who wants to come here to work as farm laborers, things like that. Some of these people that do it, it's because that's where the opportunity is, and they're from Central America or whatever. And sometimes it's like, man, some of those people, that's what they do. That's what their their parents did, and they're just like way better than I would be at it. It's like I remember in high school working through the summer with a lot of migrant workers and stuff like that, where I was just like, I can barely survive doing this. It's like, and I was in the prime of my fucking life.
Gringo
But anyway,
much.
yeah, exactly. I was one of the only 2 people that didn't speak Spanish there, and the other guy was a fucking racist. But he almost got in a fight with one of the guys there. Anyway, but interestingly, Washington is the largest grower of non-citrus tree fruit in the United States, with much of it centered on the areas in and around Yakima and the Tri-Cities. If these farms collapse, it'll impact everything from fresh fruit to juice and canned goods that many Americans take for granted. So,
For granted.
Dan Newhouse is, I mean, I don't agree with him on everything, but that's for fucking sure. But of course
Let's hope not.
Yeah, but and I've had interesting talks with people that work for and with him, which was really nice. But yeah, he represents where I live.
The Lollipop Guild.
Yeah, he represents the Lollipop Guild, and he wants to welcome you to the Yakima Valley. But the bulk of the state's agricultural contribution, including more than half of the apples and cherries produced in the United States, all come from Washington's 4th Congressional District.
Oh, hell
Which, to dox myself, is where I live. But, and that's the thing is, like, no matter how stupid and MAGA he ended up getting on some issues and this and that, he, like Newhouse, and he's held a few terms through here because he was a fucking farmer and represents a lot of the interests around here and is one of the ones that isn't just blinded by this kind of moronic nationalist rhetoric to like be against our self-interests economically and socially and stuff like that.
Racist.
Yeah, exactly. To be that, to make that bad of a decision. So he's, it's like, hey,
he's one of the good ones.
Hey, right-wing morons. Like he's on your side over here. And even he thinks that, this is going to be a nightmare if we just keep doing what we're doing.
Any juice.
Exactly. Yeah. You want some fucking canned cherries or not? But let's
you like
see.
apple juice? Huh?
It's the beginning of a oh boy.
Shouldn't have
American
had all that apple
workers
juice.
Have left the industry for better opportunities and more stability year round and are gone for good, said Washington Fruit Tree Association President John Devaney. Oh, I know him. Just kidding.
Devaney.
Now,
D
farmers
is
are turning
That's
more
where
than
it comes
ever
from.
to the H-2A visa system to bring in foreign workers, but it was intended to favor domestic workers and now doesn't reflect the reality of today's agricultural workforce. Farmers have been faced with a real challenge attracting enough labor to the farms, and there's a shortage of people wanting to work in a farm, Newhouse said. It's almost a necessity in central Washington utilizing the H-2A program. I'm glad it's there, but it's slow and expensive, and it doesn't work for all farmers. God, it's like, this is the main newspaper. You can't even fucking proofread, I swear to God.
Yeah, Dad said that it's been really going downhill, their editing and stuff.
That's a whole side story right there. I mean, the Tri-City Herald got bought out by McClatchy years ago.
McClatchy?
It's just
That's
garbage.
fake and made up.
No, it's one of it's like the second largest one. The newspapers, I forget what that first one is. Huge, but it's just it's been slowly downhill ever since. I mean, print, of course, it's all naturally gone downhill, but they didn't do themselves any favors. You just start cutting costs. You just start doing everything but getting the news to people,
I want to say something really quick about these online news, sources, where that one article I sent you today from about like Florida and how horrible Ron DeSantis is and all that. When I scroll down, you just keep scrolling and you 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 keep scrolling and there just keep being ads. It's amazing that like why everything wouldn't be
insane.
free for these, because it's like you keep scrolling and you keep scrolling and you keep scrolling and you keep scrolling and it just keeps like loading more and more ads at the bottom of it. I was looking for some maybe
man.
comments or something.
No,
comment
yeah,
section.
that's where they'll get
just
you.
ads.
Pure
yeah.
is just 1,000 tabula feeds, you know?
Clickbait,
like
clickbait,
doctors
clickbait,
hate
clickbait,
this
clickbait,
one,
clickbait,
this
yeah.
one simple trick.
It's
kind
not
of
a
bullshit all
newspaper.
over.
Yeah.
This is the Herald. This is what the Herald has become.
Journalism looks like.
Yeah, journalism, exactly. But so Newhouse, you know, like we say, the one good Republican. No, one of the
one of the good ones.
He's not great, but he believes his Farm Workforce Modernization Act, which will bolster farms through increased legal migrant
Bolster
guest
farms.
workers, will help bridge that gap and keep farmers in business while they transition to a more secure future. Washington saw a peak in its farm worker labor force in 2018, reaching 100,000 workers here in Washington. That injection of workers was, in part, thanks to an expansion of the H-2A visa, which is funny how that happened during the Trump administration, which saw applications for guest workers begin to skyrocket a decade ago. Before then, only about 90,000 immigrants, mostly from Mexico, were employed under the H-2A program across the United States. Today, that number has tripled, but farmers say it's not enough. While more than 311,000 H-2A visas were granted in 2023, that's about 80,000 short of the number requested by farms. Like
80,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're looking for over 400,000. I mean, about 400,000, sorry. I'm really good at math, but, you know.
And reading. No. Come on!
Washington now uses 10% of the entire H-2A pool to fill nearly 1/3 of all farm jobs in the state as more and more domestic workers choose to move on from the industry. Yeah, it's like just about being realistic here. And you can't let this... I mean, there's just so much wrong with anti-immigration rhetoric and on so many different levels, whether it's like just, you know, economic, culturally, or just like getting towards just, you know, jingoist, fascist, xenophobic rhetoric, you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, I mean, literally the only reason that people would be, you know, against expanding all these H-2A visas and stuff like that is because
they're fucking racist.
They're brown people, you know, that are getting them. And it's like, do you want things to work or not, you know?
And it doesn't really make sense for, like, people to not want... I mean, I guess what? They're scared that they're going to stay here or something? Is that what their problem is? Because if you're a racist, wouldn't... I mean... Hey, I don't want this taken out of context here, guys. This is not my feelings.
You get to slave labor, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't you
it's like
enjoy
one of the
it?
hardest fucking jobs to do for the least amount of pay with the least amount of protections. You know, it's incredibly hard. It's kind of, if you are a racist and all this kind of stupid idiot there, it would be a demeaning job to have. I would find it's like, that seems like really meaningful work. You're like literally, I mean, in that way, it's incredibly hard
You're actually
labor. Oh my
doing
God.
something.
You're literally
Yeah.
picking food for people to eat, to feed to their babies and stuff.
Yes.
Like that is like one of the
Exactly.
most important fucking jobs in the entire like economy. It's
In the
incredibly
world and
important.
in
But
the
for these,
history of humanity.
yeah, it's, you know, one of the
since the
one of the biggest
invention of
necessities we got, you know?
agriculture.
Like food. We kind of can't live without it.
Someone's got to
But-
pick the food. Someone's
Yeah,
got to
I mean, they
work.
find it to be a demeaning, low-paying, unimportant job. So why wouldn't they want the people that they hate the most to be
Yeah,
doing it?
true, exactly.
I don't get it. I
It's
mean,
like-
obviously, I think that people should be paid well. It should be a job that can be meaningful. Seasonal work can be paid well. You can do this hard labor, get paid well, and these farmers just don't have to be millionaires. That's kind of
Okay.
what it comes down to.
and take a towards another. Let's say you're looking at the morons' view about you know the racists,
Not the
that
Morgan's
are-
view. Yeah, no.
yeah, these racists that were these straw man racists that actually aren't straw men and they do exist.
They're people we
But,
know. Yeah. There are people who grow
they get
straw.
upset that, the types of anti-immigration people will be like, oh yeah, they're coming here because their country's so bad. Why don't they just stay there and try to fix their own country? It's like, okay, so are you going to be mad about that, or are you going to be mad that these people come here, work really hard, and then send a bunch of their money back to their home country to help their families and those people? That's a fact that like billions of dollars leave the United States to
totally
to help these countries that we have devastated ourselves.
That's not our fault.
Yeah, through either just, banana republics of the early 19th century all the way up to CIA-backed coups to destroy the governments and make sure that, people don't get all socialists and live happy, productive lives in their home country.
Don't let people get socialist,
so
especially
then they
if
come
it's what
here
they want.
and they do that backbreaking labor for you to get your fucking cosmic crisps. I was just trying to think of it.
They're pretty great.
Opal apples.
We do love cosmic crisps are excellent.
And then they take that money. They barely subsist here because they send a bunch back to their family to improve their lives there. What more do you want from these people?
They're literally doing everything that you could possibly want. They're getting treated like shit because they're brown. They're sending money back to build up those countries that you want them to stay in to begin with. They do demeaning work. What more, as a racist, could you possibly want from these people?
You should want this visa program to just, take all comers.
I'm going to say it, Doug. I think racists are kind of dumb.
Yes.
Hot take, I know, but
yeah,
they might not know what the fuck that they're talking about.
The more logic you apply to
a
your
racist,
views, the further away from racism you get. Yeah. But and it's funny, I just remember kind of seeing this because it's like, I wish that it's just a little article about this single issue on immigration and farming economics and agriculture and stuff. But it's prescient and some of it is like, this could be, an article that could get reprinted in other McClatchy papers because it even, it's talking about all the stuff that we produce here. Half the agricultural workers in Washington are in a 4-county region in south central Washington, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
It's Yakima, Benton, Franklin, and Grant counties. Those unfamiliar with the Pacific Northwest might think that Washington is a cool, rainy state, but that couldn't be further from the truth for its primary growing region, and that's why it works so well. The weather is warmer, drier, and more predictable as the land moves away from the Cascade Mountains into the low desert of the lower Columbia River Basin. My favorite
It's more
place.
predictable.
Yeah. But
300
it
days
even
of
gives
sunshine
like a little
every year.
history here and stuff. And that we're a major wine producer. Oh, it's got a little picture of a helicopter hovering over an orchard, Oh, that's really fun. I get to hear those right next door to me sometimes. And mostly the ones next door to me, they've got their turbines going. I don't think they usually have problems with it, but those places where your turbines go out, and so they have a fucking helicopter that looks like it came straight out of the MASH intro, just hovering over these orchards to get to blow all of the humidity around and stuff like that. But yeah, let's see. While labor is by far the biggest expense for most farmers, it's also the most vital. If a farm doesn't have enough workers to get fruit off the trees at the right time, it can be catastrophic for their earnings. It's like you get every angle here, okay? It's like either way, we need these visa programs. And I don't know, as a staunch advocate for increased immigration and someone who's been in many an internet debate with crazy kook racists or, or people who think that they're being centrists about it, Joe Biden liberal types. It's like, well, if you're going to come in, you got to do it the right way and stuff. It's like, so, okay, fine. I'll agree with you on that if you make, quote unquote, the right way easier. It's like, and not even for becoming a citizen, just to be able to be here. Like, these are all human beings. Why can't human beings be where they want to be? As long as you're not being a fucking colonizer and just taking someone's house in the West Bank, then, like, why can't you just have freedom of movement around the earth? And
that's what Amnesty's
supposedly, supposedly with our beautiful capitalist free market system, you being there will contribute to society and the economy because you'll need to make your ends meet. You will need to work and you will provide something for other people in order to live there and blah, 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 blah.
That doesn't make up for the fact that they're brown, Doug. It doesn't matter how much they can do for the economy because they're brown. But also, I want to say, what's really interesting about doing it the right way,
and it's
way
late.
It's so incredibly hard to do it the right way. It's so incredibly stressful. It's so hard. And it's like, okay, so that's setting people up for failure because we do take the path of least resistance in a way. And someone said something a long time ago. She was talking about training a horse, but it can be applied to parenting children, training other animals in that way,
women,
or just whatever in relationships, not training
like
exactly,
horses.
but teaching, I would say teaching more like, I guess. But it's, you make the right thing easy and you make the wrong thing hard. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to achieve this goal and you want this certain kind of behavior, whatever you want to call it, it's like broadly applied, then you make it easy to do it the way you want it done.
Yeah.
If you want it done that way, make it possible because people will choose that way.
Yes.
They do choose that way because it's easier. Because
why wouldn't you?
So you make it so impossible where you're sending people home and you talk about some of these things, people on visas and having to get sent home and wait in their country. It's the whole reason I came here was because I was going to get murdered. And then that's there's those stories that's literally what happens. It's why people don't want to go through this horrible, stupid fucking process of naturalizing a citizen or whatever, when literally here in America, you can just squirt out as many stupid little kids as you want. They're just going to be here as Americans.
Yeah, you
just get to have babies
Kaylee
all over the
and
place.
Pepsi and
Dakota. Brixton and
Brixton and Casher. And
there's literally no rules. You can name your kid whatever the fuck you want.
Oh yeah, we're not going to make fun of people's kids' names.
No, I know. I'm just saying,
private, but
yeah, you can. Hey, your name is whatever.
It's
I wouldn't name.
I have a very good friend who, man, he ran into some issues. He ended up in fucking prison for over a year because of issues with his immigration status and all this, and that. And where it's we're all trying to do. Oh shoot, are you still there? We're all trying to do everything we can.
I am, but you're cutting out.
Sure
you're being all
well, I can't hear anything that you're saying. It's crazy. But okay, now we're back. We're good. But yeah, everything we can, because we know that there's literally no difference between him and just a good, hardworking, normal person who was born here. And now, after all that he went through, lost a year of his life and all this stuff and had to work from the ground up, and now he runs a major business here in our small town, has done so many things, contributed so much to the community, all this and that. And it's why did we make all this so hard for him? Why?
Yeah.
It's he's one of the best people I know.
I think
just
we
in
both
general,
know
he's just a
the answer
really
to that.
good person. He's a human being, Yeah. And
It's because he's brown.
his
And you
name
can't trust him.
isn't Mark.
Brixton.
It's Manuel.
Yeah.
His name isn't
Yeah.
Brixton Casher / Jones. But anyway. It's like
it really is
the whole
disgusting.
citizenship thing. Especially not even getting away from like the workers' visas and stuff where you're talking about it's like, okay, well then make it easy. And that's why I always said, yeah, I'll agree with you on maybe they should do it the right way if you make the right way like possible. You got these idiots that are like, well, when my great grandparents immigrated here,
Came over on Ellis Island.
yeah, exactly.
literally
It's
took a
like they
ship
did
here.
it the right way. It's like, okay, well, let's go back to that way and do it like that now,
agree.
where you just have to know
I
one
say open all the
person
borders, but
and
that's just
show
me.
up. Yeah, fine. Then let's do it that way because that's not how we do it now. It's like, then just make it
Yeah.
legal to just become a citizen by walking in and taking a test. Then it's like, whoa.
Because this whole
then
stupid
they all
country that you
follow the
love-
law, are you still going to be happy with it? No, because you're a fucking racist.
Yeah. Because this stupid fucking country that you're so in love with is like, it's like what you're saying, you stupid, dumbass, motherfucking idiot.
Yeah.
Your
'Cause no matter how
grandparents were
horrible this country can be,
immigrants. They're
it's a lot
immigrants.
better than
like,
a lot
that's
of places.
What they came, and they came from somewhere else. They weren't American until they came to America.
Yeah.
You fucking morons. That's literally how, obviously,
That's how our
we could talk about
family
it.
is.
Yeah,
I think it only goes back to
we're
our
not
great
native. If you're not a Native
grandparents.
American, then you're not from here. You're not from around these parts. If you're not a Native
Yeah.
American, so everybody,
Yeah.
how
And
fucking
if you're one
fake
of
do
those
these
who talks
stupid
about how
fucking
your
racists have
family
to
came
be?
over in the
God
Mayflower, I
damn
don't
it.
want to talk to you anyway.
Yikes! You should be very ashamed. You should be very ashamed.
Don't quote me on that, though.
No, but yeah. Anyway.
And scene.
So, there is some interesting stuff in here, though. Like I said, I wish that little articles like that would get out there so more people would learn about what we go through here. And
But it's like
in
some
the bad
nuanced
part
sort
of
of point of view.
Washington.
That there's like,
Yeah.
all of this like information on there, and it's not like bombastic and saying like brown people are coming in and raping all the cherry trees or whatever. It doesn't say that, so no one's going to care that would be
Yeah.
affected by that.
It's like, yeah, Washington is the largest apple producer in the country. Duh. Everyone knows that. More than 2/3 of Apple jobs are based in these 4 counties.
And we're talking apple,
Yeah, as well-
like the fruit, not that disgusting company. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no,
Not
no.
Apple
no,
Jobs,
not
yeah.
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that
Steve
we lead
Jobs.
the nation in sweet cherry and pear production. We also lead the nation in asparagus production, which is particularly labor intensive. That's a job right
is.
there. I see people.
Have you ever
out there
seen
doing
how
that.
they grow?
Holy moly!
They grow straight up like it looks like someone stuck an asparagus in the ground.
Yep.
Like it just grows like a
Yeah,
spear.
exactly,
It's so weird.
Yep, asparagus are cool. But yeah, and even and all of this too. These jobs are disappearing, and it's like, not only are you making things harder for these people that these potential workers, potential Americans if they want to stay here, in my mind, but you make it harder for these rich ass farmers too. Like, come on, you're not cutting anyone any breaks. Like, it's just moronic.
Yeah. It's just the worst.
Like,
it's the worst of all
draconian
angles,
immigration bullshit. And it's
Racist.
like, and,
what I say,
and to think
make it
that
easier
it's
to
been
go
the last,
anywhere you want in the world.
Yeah,
Move anywhere.
And to
Who
think
cares?
it's been
Fucking
like the last
lines and borders.
24 years. Like, they've been talking about this since and debating like these immigration reforms. In my mind, from what I remember, it was since like Bush v. Gore, where it's like, what have you guys even done with all this? One of the only quote unquote major reforms that could have been done that was like the Dream Act, and none of that worked. And it's like, and that's just for a certain situation that people find themselves in here in America because of this draconian, crappy system that we've got, where you've got people that aren't even like Americans, and they've been living here their entire fucking lives. I know I have another guy that I worked with that had all of these issues and stuff. I think he even was going around with a fake social security number for a while too. And because he just happened to be unlike his brothers. He has like 3 brothers
not born here,
that were all born in the United States, but he was born in Mexico when his mom was in Mexico. And so he's had to deal with this bullshit every year, constantly, nonstop. Like,
I can't even. Like, how fucking stupid. And like, you know what that, like when DACA was gonna be, under the Trump administration, and like them being like, oh,
that's
blah, blah, blah,
the Dream Act, right?
Deporting dreamers from the United States. That's what Trump was like on about that. I know, like Humby and I talked about that. One of their friends, it was like very like a little bit touch and go for a while. Like, oh my God, are you gonna get deported to Mexico? You've never been there practically. You don't even speak Spanish. I don't like it. It was very scary time for some people. It's like really can't overstate like how
really
it would change people's lives.
I actually hear what you were saying right now.
Yeah, we'll hear it on the re-listen.
I'm really having problems.
I think we're having
with
some
Discord.
technical difficulties. Yeah. Well, all I wanted to say was,
but the
we
way
need
that
a visa.
your face is paused right now
that's
is
a name.
really funny.
Oh, shit. Well, I think we should cut it here then, because it's just going to keep happening.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. Yeah, because now I'm mad.
All right.
For more than just immigration reasons. Now I'm mad at these immigrants. No, I'm just kidding.
For my bad internet.
But really, you can say that
Capitalism is bad.
But neoliberal, like, what's the word
that
I'm
was
looking
a bummer
for?
because
quietly nationalistic
damn it, it totally cut
bullshit
out.
from neoliberal policies. Yeah, yours actually just went black for a while, but is also bad. So anyway, shout out to Zach, and shout out to Discontent Provider. Shout out to Aaron Brown, our Lord and Savior. Shout out to Mia, and shout out to Danae, and
her grandma who eats those disgusting sandwiches.
Come on.
That was a really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather.
Yeah, but our internet connection right now,
not good.
So
it can suck me from the back for sure.
To all, yeah, and all of you anti-immigration people, you just listen to us.
Consider yourself owned, because you are.
And I think you will accept that. Okay, all right, I love you.
I love you.
Bye. Okay, bye.